Get Fit headquarters. Trifecta Fitness is a state-of-the-art spin and strength training studio. Our spin studio is truly one of a kind in this area, complete with 20 state-of-the-art live fitness bikes and an incredible sound system. Our strength training is done in small groups of 6 or fewer, and all of our strength and spin classes are scalable for every level of experience. Come see us in the heart of Clarksville, just behind MAPCO at the corner of Old Trenton Road and Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. Call us for more info at 931-542-6265 or download our Trifecta Fitness app for a full list of upcoming classes.
Welcome back. Welcome back. MisFitNation. We are a show founded by veterans and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the MisFitNation. If you're a musician or actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share some of your tips with the MisFitNation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or entrepreneur, come on and share how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or star family, we would love to have you come on and just share your story with the MisFitNation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or are embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you're a new listener, welcome to the MisFitNation. Be sure to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast apps and also on our YouTube channel at _MisFitNation. Subscribe, click the bell to keep you up to date with our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Electrocast Media and About Face Radio. This will keep you tuned in to us and learn about our great guests. Edition of the MisFitNation show, going live on About Face Radio and all our streaming services through social media. Tonight we have a good one. We have a young man who grew up in the Bronx, moved to the South at the age of about 15-ish, went to Atlanta, and it's a culture shock as it is, and he had to find his way while down in Atlanta. He became a Christian in 1996, his conversion to Christianity, but he kept his dream in music. He has multiple albums out in the rap genre, but more on the Christian side of it. And now he has launched a clothing line, Coliseum Clothing. And we're here. I'm glad that he's coming on. Because he's from close to where I'm from. And here we are. We're going to bring Shorty Roc on the air tonight. He's going to tell us his story. Welcome, Shorty Roc. How are you?
I am blessed, man. How you doing?
It's good. Glad we're able to connect and get you on here. It's strange how worlds collide and where we come from up there in the beautiful Northeast to now we're both in the South and thriving in the South. So I'm glad to have you here.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad to be here.
So awesome. If you don't mind, tell the audience a little more about you from as far back as you want to go, minus what I just gave, to how we got to where we are now.
Okay. Well, like you said, my name is King Shorty Roc. Born in the Bronx. Well, I was actually born in Binghamton, New York, which is upstate New York. But I grew up in the Bronx. I don't remember nothing about Binghamton. That's why I never really talk about it, because I was I was a baby. But I grew up in the Bronx. I've been in the Bronx since I was like in kindergarten. You know what I'm saying? My family moved around a little bit, different parts of the Bronx, but mostly I was in Co-op City. Which is to me, Co-op City is the nicest place in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? As far as aesthetically. But Co-op City is broken up into 5 different sections. So section 1 through 5, each section has like their own little crews, gangs, if you want to call it. So because I was growing up in Co-op City, growing up in the Bronx, you know, the Bronx can be a very aggressive environment. So sometimes, you know, you get surrounded by a bunch of people that you either gotta, you know, it's either fight or flight. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
definitely.
So I never been the type to really run like that. You know what I'm saying? So I got into a lot of fights growing up. Um, got got into a lot of trouble. Got suspended a ridiculous amount of times growing up, and eventually, you know, I got attached to local groups of individuals, and you know, did a lot of things I'm just not proud of. You know what I'm saying? Um, Nothing too crazy, but just still things that I feel like, you know, I wish I had a different outcome. You know what I'm saying? Um, in the Bronx, um, you know, when you hanging out on the streets and, you know, spending your time, you know, outside, you know, you definitely not only do you encounter different crazy things that go on, you know, shootouts, robberies, you know, petty crimes, things like that, but you also experience hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Because hip hop started in the Bronx and it came from the streets of the Bronx. So eventually, you know, I definitely got involved in hip hop, and I started rapping as a form of peer pressure because my peers was just pressuring me to always come up with different raps and different, you know, different, you know, lyrical concepts talking about our situations that we were going through. And then eventually my mother decided she had enough of me and my brother getting in trouble. She moved us down south. You know what I'm saying? Where eventually it changed my life for the better. You know what I'm saying? I found God, but it definitely was the most rockiest start in the world I've ever had because when I moved to the south, I was living in Atlanta, and at that particular time, there wasn't that many people from New York in Atlanta, so the Atlanta natives didn't like New Yorkers. Now you go to Atlanta, it's like a million New Yorkers. Everybody likes
Yes.
New York or whatever. But you know, when I went down there, you know what I'm saying, which was at the beginning of high school, um, they used to try to make fun of us on how we dress. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, you know, I ain't never really been in a situation where I was like picked on continuously. So I immediately was getting into fights. Um, I eventually started my own gang when I was in Atlanta, um, and that led to me getting expelled from high school. Um, and that is when I was expelled. That is when my mother started forcing us to go to church, and that's when I found God. You know what I'm saying? So it was during that time of expulsion where I didn't know where my life was going that God definitely came into my life and helped me tremendously. You know,
So kind of like a divine intervention at that point.
it definitely was, man. It definitely was. It was something that I needed and I didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And if that didn't happen, you wouldn't be sitting here with me right now. I guarantee you.
No, not at all, not at all. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, since then, you know, the rest has been history. I've been rapping, doing business, trying my best to live right. I
Yeah.
still definitely have some, you know, topsy turvy incidences, but you know, I'm here. I'm here, and I'm blessed, man. You know what I mean?
But as you know, when you found God and God accepted you in, He also taught you that we're all humans and
Right.
we're gonna make mistakes. It's what you do after that mistake is what sets you apart from the others. And I
Yeah,
think you're
100%.
I think you've blazed that path. I mean, you could have at any point in your upbringing and everything, you could have made that left turn to go totally bad. Like you said, the
100%.
influences that were around you, they could have turned that key on you. Say, hey, let's go, Shorty. Let's go do this, and you won't get in trouble. Yeah, okay, that's right. And you'd be the one getting in trouble. But that turn your mom made to go to Atlanta, hot Atlanta at that time, like you said, at that time in the 90s, it was still, I guess, a growing town as far as music scene, especially everything. But like you said, there wasn't a lot of northern influence there at that time, Northeast especially. So you had to bring that in and teach them a little bit. But I mean, now you go to, like you said, you go to Atlanta. Now you have a lot of the producers have moved to Atlanta. They have a lot of studios in Atlanta. Everything is blowing up there, and so I think it was a great move on all parts for you at that time.
Yeah, definitely.
So
100%.
the first time you got in the studio, it was your own work. You got in there. Were you pumped? Were you nervous? How was it?
Well, I would say I was extremely nervous because when my first ever studio experience happened when I was in the Bronx.
Okay.
A friend of mine named Andre. I don't know how or when it took place, but one day we was in the basketball courts playing basketball, and he just told us like, look, I got some DJ equipment. You want to come up to my apartment and record something? You know what I'm saying? Because at the time, I was rapping a lot, but I was just rapping on the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'd be playing basketball, and the older dudes in our neighborhood would call me over and be like, "Yo, Shorty, come over here and rap for us." You know what I'm saying? So I'd be out there in the middle of the basketball courts while everybody playing basketball. It'd be like a crowd around me rapping. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I really knew was like rapping in the street. Like I didn't even think about going and recording myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know why it didn't dawn on me to do that or to look for that, but it just didn't happen. So it wasn't until Andre said, "Yo, I got some DJ equipment, come up to the apartment." So when I first was in that studio, his makeshift studio, and I heard my voice, two things went through my head. Number one, I hated the sound of my voice because to me, I had like this little squeaky voice because I was still a teenager. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then the second thing was I didn't know how other people would interpret the music. You know what I'm saying? Like I know people like me when I was on the streets of rapping.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, this is a real beat. This is a real song. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't sure. You know what I'm saying? But eventually, people liked it, and people started inviting me to their own studios.
Nice.
So every time I got invited, I would just go and do my thing.
It definitely is a big leap to go from, like you said, freestyling on the street to then going in there and like Entree, he's spinning something for you. So I want you to throw some lyrics on this track, and now you're on the spot. Where do I step in? Where do I step in on this beat? I just don't have someone punching their hands outside and clapping for me. But I just got to jump in. So that's a pretty big jump for you. That's pretty cool.
And I didn't know nothing about because I started like that. I didn't know nothing about bars, like as far as like how many bars or how to count bars. You know what I'm saying? Like I still struggle with that now, to be honest with you, because I never had like any formal training of someone really teaching me this is how you count the bars, or you know what I'm saying? Like, or even knowing when to come in on the beat. Like I didn't know none of that. So I was just rapping and rapping and rapping. So it wasn't really even a real like song per se. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn that over time. But I literally knew nothing about how to record, the process of recording or anything.
So yeah, a lot of trial and error. So that helps.
Oh, definitely.
Most people, when they hit that trial and error period, they're either going to quit and try something different, or just keep nugging at it, nug until, hey, now I feel a little more comfortable. I know a little bit more about what I'm doing here. I can jump in right when the beat starts to soften up. I can jump in there and hit it. So
right.
I think that's kind of where you are now, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I've recorded at, I ain't gonna say $1 million studios, but very sophisticated studios. I've definitely gotten tips from a lot of different producers, ran into a lot of celebrities. So like it just really over time my skills and my ability to record has definitely improved.
Definitely. Moving from Andre's house to a studio is a big jump. He had the equipment he had the equipment that was cool for you guys at that time. But
Right.
we all had like your friend that would have either 2 turntables or a turntable and a keyboard in the house, and try to mess around until you got something that sounded kind of cool. But
Right.
then you move into the big time. Oh my God, look at this! This is awesome.
Exactly.
If they can only see me now.
Right.
So when you produced your first, you have 1 album, 5 mixtapes, right? And then you've performed it over 100 times throughout the country. Really, I was going to say the South, just throughout the country. What was your favorite venue, and what's the biggest response you've had to you?
My favorite venue. Honestly, okay, so oh man, that's a very good question because I've had so many different experiences. No one has ever asked me that. What's my favorite venue? Let me see.
I'm good for curveballs.
You know what? One of my favorite venues that I ever performed in was a place, and I'm gonna say the name wrong because I haven't been there in so long, but it's a place in Cincinnati, Ohio. I think it was called the Hip Hop Grill or something like that, the Gospel Hip Hop Grill. But I liked it because it was the only, like, it was like a full blown club that was for Christians. Like, it was like a Christian club. You know what I'm saying? It was like a real club. You know what I'm saying? And I never seen nothing like that before. Like, I performed in secular clubs like all over the place, but I've never seen a club for Christians. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was called the Gospel Grill. That's what I really think it was called. But I used to love that place because I used to try out brand new music there. You know what I'm saying? And the beautiful thing about that place was not only when you performed was the crowd always like just involved and just like I used to have that place rocking, right? But I loved it because the sound engineer who was controlling the microphones and all that used to actually record the live performances.
Nice.
So before that, I never actually heard my live performance. You know what I'm saying? And even now, when I go places, I don't unless I'm recording it. I never had an engineer record the audio to the live performance. You know what I'm saying? So in my early mixtapes, I used to put the live recording of. I used to have the regular song, and then I used to have the live recording of the song too. You know what I'm saying? Like now, I would love to do that. And no one else really does that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I used to love that place just for that. I used to go there just so I can get that live recording. You know what I'm saying? The best crowd response, I want to say, the best crowd response is I got asked to perform at a I don't know if it was the Salvation Army, but it was some nonprofit organization. They was doing a summer camp, right? And when I say them kids was going crazy, like have you seen a rock and roll mosh pit?
Yeah.
You know, that's what it looked like. And they had told me, they was like before I performed, they had told me, they was like, yo, the kids really like rap music, right? So I was like, okay, cool. But I had no idea it was gonna be that crazy. I'm talking about them, like just imagine like 300 kids in an auditorium, like not standing up, everybody just like packed in by the stage, just going crazy to the music. I say, put your hands up. Everybody put their hands up. You know, everybody rocking like it made me feel like a superstar. Like I felt like I was going to jump in the crowd at one point because it was so crazy. I was like, wow. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, I got to do these more often. Like a summer camp. Like I didn't even think of that even being some like a actual place for me to perform. You know what I'm saying? Like I never thought about performing at a summer camp. Like who thinks about that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was crazy. They was going crazy.
Probably get you out there crowd surfing on them and come back to the stage with your mic. That would have been a good visual.
They probably would have dropped me if I'd have tried to do
that. Sorry, son. Sorry, kid. Sorry, I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm sorry I jumped on you.
Oh, I got a story. Okay, so I know you didn't ask me this, but I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you my worst experience though.
There we go.
Listen, I feel like all my bad experience happened in Ohio. So look, I was in Ohio for a festival. I had performed at this festival. I forgot the name of the festival. I don't know if it's called City Fest. It was something, right? It was this festival. But in Ohio, right? I think like every 7 years or something like that, they have, like, you know what a cicada is?
Yeah.
Okay, so they have a cicada outbreak or something, like where it's like millions of cicadas come out the ground and they're like all over the place. I'm talking about literally all over the place. And a cicada to me is like one of the ugliest looking bugs, and it's so big and it makes all this noise, right? So look, when I got booked for the festival, I had no idea that this was even a thing, right? So I remember it was me and two other rappers that I had with me that was like kind of like my hype man, right? So we was on stage and we're performing, and the things is like flying around like all over the place, right? So I'm like, yo, and a cicada is big, you know what I'm saying? So the DJ starts playing the music, we're rapping, we're performing, right? And one of the cicadas like flies on my friend's shirt, like as we're performing. So he starts freaking out. He's like, oh my God. Because the cicada, like when it jump on you, it like kind of grips a little bit. So like you really gotta kind of like really push it off or grab it and throw it. You know what I'm saying? So when he's freaking out, I'm still trying to rap, right? And I'm looking over and I start laughing a little bit. But then another one flies on my friend's hat, right? So the other dude, it's on his hat. So one dude, he freaking out. He got one on his shirt. The other one has one on his hat, right? So look. So I'm looking over. I'm like, because I'm the main person rapping. And in the middle of me rapping, I just started laughing crazy. I just started laughing. I'm like, ha, 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 right? Like, it's just so funny because like, you can see the crowd reacting too, like, oh, right? But this is the craziest thing. When I started laughing, tell me why a cicada flew in my mouth.
Oh, man.
I dropped the mic. I was like, I was like, it's over. It's over. Let's get out of here. I dropped the mic. We ran off stage. That joke was so. I was like, never again. Never. I'm never coming back here. So just imagine that happening at a festival. You know how many people is at a festival? You know what I'm saying? Like
all eyes on you.
Oh my God!
It probably like you felt bad. You were laughing at your buddy because he had on him. He was fighting the demon, and then the demon got you. So.
I said, "Oh man, that's what I get for laughing."
Exactly.
But I just couldn't help it because it was just so funny. One was freaking out like this, the other one was like this, and then I laughed. Oh man, I said, "Oh no, we gotta get out of here."
We're getting invaded on. We're getting attacked right here on stage. This isn't good. What kind of festival is this?
Exactly, like cicada festival. Yeah, that's
funny,
crazy.
Though. I bet the audience probably got a kick out of it, and they were like, "Why did he leave us? Why did he leave?"
Listen, they probably did because I mean, how could you not see it? Like how could you not see us getting attacked?
Right.
But
you know, they were too.
Yeah, exactly right. They probably was running for cover too. But when I saw that, I said, "Oh man." Yes, that was definitely my worst performance.
So we got your best, we got your favorite venue, your best, your favorite audience, your worst venue. But then you're also an entrepreneur on top of this. You had what, 3 clothing lines now, right? Pretty Goons, American Line, and GD Mafia clothing. And this is all in the Coliseum store, right? So
right. So it's called the Coliseum, like kind of like the Roman. Yeah, kind of like the Roman Coliseum.
Yeah.
So and actually the logo is the Roman Coliseum. Like if you really look at the logo. But yeah, so the clothing lines are located inside the Coliseum mobile app. So it's an app and it's a website. So if you have a Android phone or you have an iPhone or iPad and stuff like that, you could download the app. But if you don't have none of it or you just don't feel like downloading any more apps on your phone, you can just go straight to the website. And everything that's on the website is on the app as well. So you're not missing out on anything. But yeah, but we also opened up a store. I opened up a store about about 2 years ago. So we were selling everything out of an actual physical store. I wind up having to close the store at the beginning of this year, but we're trying to open it up because we needed a bigger location. So hopefully before the end of the year, we can open up a larger actual physical store as well.
Where did you have the physical store? Was that in Atlanta or was that upstate up New York? Or?
No. So right now I'm living in Tampa Bay, Florida.
Okay.
And so I had it in Tampa, but then when I was moving, I wound up closing it when I moved up to Atlanta. But now I'm back in Tampa.
Okay. Yeah. So you get that thing going again. And do you do you have a part in designing the clothes, or you just go to vendors and get them?
No, I design every aspect of the clothes.
That is outstanding.
Yeah.
Where do you think you got that from in life? Did someone ever say, "Hey, you can do this," or you just watched other people and said, "I want to do that too," and did it?
A little bit of both. Like really, I try to say everything I do comes from trying to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're trying to break into this industry, you quickly realize that there's a lot of things that you are going to have to know how to do, or you're going to have to pay somebody to do it. And one of them is graphics. You know, so when I was in Atlanta, and I was really moving around the city, performing different clubs, and I started meeting different people. And one of them was a young lady. Her name is Trinity, and I met Trinity. And Trinity, I asked Trinity to be my assistant. So Trinity at the time was going to school for graphic design.
Nice.
And so when she was going to school for graphic design, the school had to give her like a computer and give her like all the graphic design programs. You know what I'm saying? So one day I was like, yo, Trinity, like, show me how to do some graphics. You know what I'm saying? So she wound up giving me the Photoshop program. Nice. And a bunch of other different programs. And then she wound up giving me like this real thick book that like the Bible. And it was an Adobe Photoshop book. You know what I'm saying? That basically had everything from A to Z about Adobe Photoshop. So she gave it to me, and then I just started playing with it and reading the book. And when I would meet up with Trinity, she would show me little things. And then after a while, I just started getting really good at Photoshop. So now I can create anything digital, like any digital or printable thing, from business cards, flyers, posters, logos, websites, like anything digital that has to do with graphics, banners. Like I've designed billboards, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then naturally it was the clothes. It was like, trying to get into the clothing because I want to sell merchandise when I'm out there performing. But then it just turned into, okay, maybe I can get these clothes in real stores. Okay. So I said I got to develop my own clothing lines. So then I did that.
That's outstanding. It's a lot of know-with-all to get that going, and meeting the right people to help you, especially. That helps out a lot too. And having the entrepreneurial spirit to get going. Did you have any speed bumps that you hit when you were starting out that you're still trying to fight through now, but you still rocking?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like always, to be honest with you, uh, capital, like having money to propel the vision and the dream has always been a struggle and an obstacle for me personally. Just because, you know, there's a reason why in regular secular rap you hear a lot of references to people being drug dealers. There's a reason for that. It's because it take drug dealer money for you to be successful in rap. Like you got to pay for everything. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to pay to perform. You gotta buy clothes. You gotta put gas in your car to go to these different venues. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay for your entourage. You got to pay for the beats. You got to pay for the studio time. You got to pay for the music video. It's like a cash business.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the cash, you won't last. You know what I'm saying? And it's like those obstacles as far as like having to constantly be spending and spending and spending and spending and spending, you know what I'm saying, has always been an issue because it's like, okay, I could work a regular job and fund my dream, right? But if I work a regular job and fund my dream, then my dream won't happen as quickly as I would like it to happen because you got to be doing this full time in order for it to actually happen at a rate in which is reasonable.
Right.
So it's like, but you can't just cut off the funding of having a regular job or things will fall apart. So it's a balance of, okay, maybe I work a little bit and then maybe I fund the dream over here, or maybe I generate some money from the clothing. So the lack of funds has made me a natural born hustler because it has made me a basic salesman of every aspect of my art. So whatever I create, whether it's music, whether it's clothes, whether it's hats, whether it's a DVD or a CD or whatever I can create, I'm trying to sell.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to sell my creative intellectual property. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it's in digital form or physical form, I'm trying to monetize everything. You know what I'm saying? But it can be a struggle because you have to be at a level, you have to be at a visibility that your competitors are on. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm an independent artist, that means my competitors are Atlantic Music, Sony, Epic, you know, all these major labels, as well as the hundreds and thousands of independent labels. So I'm always trying to fight for fans, fight for ground on
definitely.
Thing.
Definitely. And that you were saying that, I was thinking of Wu-Tang right away with the cash rules everything around me. And that's it right there. They hit
That's
the nail.
A fact, man.
They hit the nail on the head, and that's why Wu-Tang is forever right there. So
Right.
that's awesome that you caught that on quick to understand that you have to have a mainstream for money to come in to help you and to, like you said, fight the big guys. You got to get in there with the big dudes, the big companies, the big producers, and then of course all the indie producers as well. In order for you to even get your foot in that door and maybe get your name on the billboard with them. So it's a hustle, and you got it going on right now. So it's good on you.
Well, thank you.
So what's your next venture?
My next venture is building out this Coliseum app. So the Coliseum is really it's the world's first movie streaming social network. So the way I kind of describe it is, just imagine if Facebook had a baby with Netflix, right? That would be the Coliseum. You know what I'm saying? Because not only can you watch over 500 movies and television shows, you can also read magazines. You can stream music. You can stream podcasts. You can network with people from all over the world. You can buy merchandise, and then you can also buy tickets to events. as well. Plus, it has a news blog attached to it too, so you can stay updated with all the news from all around the world. And this is an app that is constantly growing. So in my personal opinion, I'm trying to get the app to be the type of resource that people use for all aspects of their life. So we're trying to include things like banking, a banking system on it. Eventually, we'll include things for video conferencing, large groups. Because right now you can do video chat, but we want to add video conferencing so that you can incorporate things like this. You know, like if you wanted to do a Zoom, you would do it through the Coliseum app. And just finding different ways to grow it. Adding more podcasts. Right now, there's 5 podcasts on it. We want to get that number to about 15 by the summer. We have the 3 clothing lines on there, but it would be beautiful if we can get 10 more clothing lines on there, or clothing stores or boutiques, online boutiques, to be a part of it. We have hundreds of movies and films, but we would love to get that 500 to 1,000, you know, and get that 1,000 to 10,000 videos and movies and everything like that. And growing the online community so that people can connect with the resources that they need in their local communities as well as the global community too. So if you're a rapper and you're looking for producers, you can go on the Coliseum and type in producers, and you can type in the state or the city that you're looking for, and all the producers will pop up. Same thing with models, same thing with photographers, but also the same thing with like an office manager. If you're looking for an office manager, you can type that in and it'll pop up the list of members that have listed that in their profiles. So we just want to continue to build on that, continue to grow that, so that can be an app that can compete with the likes of Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and the rest of the social networks.
That's outstanding. That's a big business that you're getting into right there. And if you can get all that to work into that app, that'd be an amazing feat. And you'd wind up with a revenue stream that would propel you to have your own $1 million studio. So that'd be great.
That's the goal, man. That's the goal.
See, there it is right there. I'm always here to help.
I appreciate it.
So, Shorty, how does someone get in contact with you to say, hey, let's hang out, let's chat like we are, or maybe just learn from you how you got where you are?
You can actually go straight to my website, which is Shorty ROCNYC.com. Sorry, that's SHORTYROCNYC.com. You can go on there. You can listen to all my music. You can. I even also have a podcast as well. You can watch some movies I created because I shot 2 different films. And then also you could just hit me up. You want to talk to me? You want to book me? You could definitely catch me on ShortyRocNYC.com. And of course, you could download the Coliseum because I run it. So any technical errors, you're going to see my profile on there. You know what I'm saying? You can hit me up through the app. You can go to thecoliseum.com. That's TheKhaliseum.com. Download the app. Hit me up. Let's talk. Let's chat. You know what I'm saying? If you want to collaborate on some music, all that.
There you go. He just opened the door for all you creatives out there. He's right here, right. Shorty Roc, ShortyRocNYC.com, or the Coliseum store.com, or the Coliseum app. You get him out all that stuff, and he'll be stepping up and helping you as you also help him at the same time. It's a mutual agreement right there to help each other and keep pushing everyone forward with success. Shorty, thank you for taking some of your Sunday night here to hang out with the Misfit Nation. We look forward to seeing great things from you in the future. This has been a great chat.
Well, thank you. I definitely appreciate the opportunity. Please download my music on Spotify and iTunes.
Outstanding. We will put that out in the show notes as well. Thank you, Shorty, and happy birthday to my brother Steve. He turned a young 21 again this year. So everyone have a great night, and thank you for tuning in to us.
All right, cool. Peace.
Peace. Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com to catch up on all of our episodes and also to get some of that great Misfit Nation gear. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling because we are Misfit Nation.